New Year's resolutions for 2019. So we want to do something a little bit different than the years past. In fact, in the last 3 years, there's been great changes to our lifestyle and how we live, let alone the last 10. So we want to look at something that's a little bit more tangible than what we usually do, because obviously what we're normally doing is not working as effective as it should. This meaning that most of the time we make our New Year's resolutions and we don't get to our goals. So we're going to take a look at why does this happen every year after year, and how is it different than what we should be doing in this upcoming year. So if we take a look at what we traditionally do, is it motivation? Generally you say it's motivation that's lacking, that's why we don't get to our goals. But is that so? If we take a look at the average person going to work 9 to 5, maybe have kids to take after and a wife or a husband to look after as well, we must say that we are motivated because we're doing these things and it's a demand of our lifestyle that we can't omit, so therefore we are motivated. Is it possible that we're motivated in one sense and not the other? Not really. If you're a motivated person, it's just who you are. It doesn't turn off and on. So then let's look at something different if that's not the case. Is it the fact that we're just not capable of scheduling the time to do so? I'd say this would also not be true, because we often schedule time for the things that we want to do and we find important, to meet with friends or family or to relax. So this is also not quite the case. So what else is there? We have the lack of information. Are we lacking the proper information to do what we should be doing? However, we have Google, we have books, we have TV, and so on, informing us on the great practices to follow so that we get to our goals. So we can't quite say it's also the lack of information. So then what is the limitation to how we always used to do things? Well, I feel that it's really the difference between getting the scientific information and allowing it to apply to our lifestyle, because they both aren't very compatible. Once we take the science, try to do lifestyle, people don't do it. You go to the gym, you leave the gym, are you doing your exercise? You go to physio, you leave physio, are you doing your exercises? Are you stretching enough for the things that you know you should be doing? Not quite. So the science doesn't quite add up to how we're living our life, therefore the proper change that we need to take to get to our goals. So I think that this is one of the limitations that we have, and thus we need to create something that's a little bit more fluid and tangible and works with the lifestyle so that we do what we need to do to get to our goals. Another limitation, I'd say, is the lack of guidance. Do we have the proper guidance to navigate lifestyle while incorporating these new activities? Does our lifestyle support the change that we're trying to make? And if not, are we going to be able to get to our goal? The answer is no. It's quite impossible. Can 1 hour at the gym or 1 hour of positive activity erase 24 hours of enforced habit based on how you live your life? Not quite. It's not going to make that cut. So this is definitely a large block that we have to address. On top of that, what kind of information are we taking in? I said that we have enough information because we know what to do and how to do it and why we should be doing it. But do we have enough to bridge the gaps of what steps in between that action versus the lifestyle, that action versus you, and that action actually coming to fruition? I don't think we do a very good job at bridging this gap. And this is why the general public has a challenging time sticking to those goals and making a long-term change. So the best way to rethink of this 2019 New Year's resolution is thinking of it as looking at the lifestyle and making sure that that supports the change that we're trying to make. So how do we do this now? There are 4 good reasons or 4 good ways of being able to make this a little more tangible so we have our long-lasting goals in 2019. 1,